Hey, hey. Hey, Jean. Hey, Unicorn. Thank you for being here. I hope you're both well. I'm just going to cleanse the cards whilst we get ready and get started. Hi, Jean. How you doing? Sure thing. Hey, Kristen. Good morning. Sure thing, Kristen. Thanks, Unicorn, for your question as well. Okay, Jean, so let's get started. Whatever you need to know. Using the Muse Tarot deck today. Spirit, what does Jean need to know right now, please, Spirit? What does Jean need to know right now? What does Jean need to hear right now, please, Spirit? Nine of Voices. Hey, Danny. Nine of Voices, Jean. Some kind of worry, anxiety whenever we see this card. See this woman here who is really quite in her head, overthinking about something. This could be current energies or it could be the near future. So tell you what resonates with that, okay? Something that basically is keeping you up at night as well. We see this darkness, the moon, the clouds, all representing that. Now, when this card comes through, it's often very reassuring from spirit to say that these worries and fears really will be unfounded. Also worth noting that it's important to try to, when this kind of anxiety takes over, lean into the coping mechanisms to try to center yourself and ground yourself, because making decisions or making choices from this place of fear is never a great place for any of us to make a decision from or make actions from. Six of materials here, just on the bottom, I'm drawn to slightly. Just, I don't know if this is connected to finances. That's a very specific message. May resonate for you, might not. But take, like I say, take what resonates, leave what doesn't. So you may know what this is already, this fear and worry, or like I say, it could be coming in the near future. Spirit just advises you to say meditate, ground yourself, get out in nature, whatever it does that to get yourself in a better headspace, and try not to sink further into this kind of thinking and overthinking. So, Unicorn, am I meant to have a blended path in this lifetime? I'm not sure what you mean by that, Unicorn. You're welcome, Jean. If you want to elaborate on that more. Guys, if you could drop a like for the live stream, I'd really appreciate that as well. Hey, Janavi. I'll wait for Unicorn to come back. I just want to keep it moving. So I will move on to Kristen and just wait for Unicorn to clarify the question, okay? Because I'm not sure what you mean by that. So Kristen, this is for you. Looking at what are the energies your XA has for you. Spirit, what are the energies surrounding Kristen and her XA? What does A think and feel about this situation? Muse of Emotions. Okay, so this is Kristen, this is in the traditional deck, it's King of Cups, okay? So initially, straight off, what this tells me is that I think with you that they did feel like a deep connection. So obviously emotions is kind of being in your feelings and feeling deeply for someone. The king of the muse of emotions here is someone who potentially is maybe when they're hurt or feeling overwhelmed emotionally by a situation, they can withdraw, go into themselves. They have a tendency, almost it's ruled by the element of water. I always think of the sign Cancer and how they kind of retreat into their shell when I see the muse of emotions. So I think they have kind of still quite big feelings around this, but it's not something that they would communicate kind of very freely. They might try to hide this. They maybe weren't the very best of communicating when you were together as well. Maybe this is something that you recognized about their nature, this kind of tendency to withdraw and be moody. But certainly kind of how they look at these situations, there is still some unresolved emotions there and big feelings. But maybe a bit of what I'm feeling is a kind of block of being able to process that. So it just kind of sits there and is unresolved, and they've kind of, I suppose, buried it. And yeah, it's on that situation, the kind of just this sense of retreating into themselves. So I suppose what that tells you, Kristen, is just the impact that it did have. If that offers you some comfort in the sense that it did impact them, they did feel deeply about this connection. But there were issues around how to process this. So it kind of got buried in them. Hey, Great Gator and Susan, thanks for being here. Absolutely, Susan, just pop your question in the chat. I'll just circle back to Unicorn and then I'll move on to Danny Baby and Janavi and then so forth. Great Gator and Susan. So Unicorn, I mean kind of where it's like where someone... You're welcome, Kristen. Absolute Great Gator, no problem. There's no need to repost your question. I see you. I will get to you. I just do this in order so that it's fair. If you could drop me a like, guys, if you're in the live, appreciate that. So unicorn. So being drawn to more than one belief system or religion. I don't really know if I can answer that question for you. What I'll do is I'll just focus it on your spiritual path, okay? I think that's the best way to kind of focus this question, if that's all right with you. Message for unicorn, please, surrounding their spiritual path. So we've got the Ace of Materials here, which talks about new beginnings or new experiences, new ideas, unicorn. So I don't know if this is something that you, maybe recent experiences, that the reason that's kind of drawn you to ask this question is that so this could be currently happening, or like we say, if we look to near future, about being drawn to exactly what you talked about, different belief systems, different ideas. And with the materials, it's always based in, what I want to say is it's almost like based around practices, because this materials is about, it's a very practical energy. Okay, so it's not just thinking, it's actually kind of acting. So how that would manifest, say if you were interested in Buddhism, just for example, and then you began to read up on that and to actually begin to practice meditation, but in a specifically kind of Buddhist format or structure. And there is a lot of personal growth that can come from that. I mean, I don't want to put my own personal beliefs on this, but I certainly believe that if you are drawn to a different belief system, it's okay to kind of cherry pick certain practices that align, that make you feel more connected to spirit, more connected to God, or whatever you want to call it, the universe. So the Ace of Materials could represent this new beginning and new experiences, and in a way, spirit encouraging you to lean into that, because this card is all about potential, and allow it to take you where it takes you. Could take you somewhere really exciting, somewhere that could open you up to a whole new group of people. It could open you up to a whole new way of managing your sort of dreams and desires and ambitions, etc. There are so many things. So I wouldn't resist that, certainly, unicorn, if your interests, there is a lot of potential held in that. So if you feel drawn to something, follow that. There's a lot of personal growth there. Certainly reading up on it, or go into group meditations, just for example, or your local church, whatever it might be, just to explore that further, because it's really an enrichment, and looking for ways to feel connected to spirit, to God, as long as done with pure intention, and an open heart. I feel like there can only be good stuff that can come from that. So let's move on to Danny. Can I get a card for spiritual guidance for your finances? Sure thing. Hey Nettie, thanks for being here. Thanks, Danny. Spiritual guidance surrounding finances. Let's see what comes through. Message for Danny, please, Spirit, regarding finances. What does she need to know right now, please, regarding finances? I'm just going to keep shuffling, actually. I wasn't sure if they were going to bring a card through there. 8 of Inspiration. Positive momentum, Danny. So this is a hopeful card. Inspiration is ruled by the element of fire. So we can see this if something has felt stagnant, if you've felt that kind of just kind of stuck energy. If you've been waiting for movement and the movement hasn't been coming, and maybe that's made you feel panicky, then 8 of Inspiration is the promise of that determination paying off, being able to get through some kind of action activity. Okay, the dust being kicked up always when I see this card. So if that's kind of sales coming in or a new direction, a new connection with someone, it's you're feeling incredibly focused. So if that has left you maybe a bit as well because nothing is really landing or nothing is really connecting, that kind of energy sometimes can be about. And then the 8 of Inspiration is, it's good that you're still getting those opportunities, okay? But yeah, maybe like coming up against a certain block, okay? That's kind of what I felt when I was shuffling as well. It felt kind of blocked, the energy. So 8 of Inspiration, it's always like that when the pressure is building. I always see it's a bit like a cork popping from a champagne bottle, that it's the pressure kind of builds and builds, and in that there is this frustration, but it will come. And I feel like once you get this movement, it just really gives you a lift emotionally and gives you that boost that you've been needing as well. And I suppose what comes with it as well, because it's 8 of Inspiration, it's actually feeling inspired, because it's so hard if it's around money or business, when you're putting in a lot of effort and nothing is really connecting. And obviously the motivation, it's hard to keep that motivation high. And so with that, once you get this movement and get this focus, the train gets on the track, you will then feel that relief and that kind of rush of inspiration and get your spark back, Danny. Okay, so it is on its way. It is on its way. Hey Mark, thanks for being here. Absolutely. If you just like the one card, just pop your question in the chat. You're very welcome, Danny. If you'd like a more in-depth reading, the link is just above in the pinned comment for a 3-card reading. But thank you for being here. If you're new here, I'll just read what Unicorn says. So you feel connected towards different things and can be very eclectic in my beliefs, and practices and things of that sort. I mean, it's really just about broadening your knowledge as well, Unicorn, isn't it? But it's almost like exploring different philosophies and things like that. It's kind of an endless way to strengthen your connection to the universe, or whatever you like to call it. But I always think that would encourage that 100%. And the cards would seem to be bringing that message through as well, to follow those new sparks and new paths. Okay, I'll keep it moving, guys. Janavi, so regarding convincing your manager to apply for my work visa 2025. Yeah, he said he will talk to me next week. What is he planning to talk? Will it be in my favor? Okay, let's have a look at that energy with your manager, Janavi. Janavi. What is the energy? Okay, you know I don't do yes, no, okay, but we'll see what comes through. What's the energy surrounding this conversation? What are your manager's intentions regarding this conversation? The priestess, the high priestess. So the high priestess, I feel like this is, excuse me, I feel like this is your energy, Janar, because I feel like, I don't know if this came through for you, the other reading that we did, but this is about, I don't really feel like this is your manager's energy. We've got the Ace of Voices here as well, which I'll get to. But the high priestess is about your intuition, being very strong. And I know we talked about your premonition gifts as well. I don't know if your intuition has a kind of inkling here about, I may have to pull another card about this because it's just come through so strong. We've got the Ace of Voices here, which is about the conversation and the meeting. Ace does, as we always know, does represent new beginnings, and fresh starts, okay? And communication. So you sitting down and having that talk, sharing ideas, and there being, I believe, some kind of new beginning within in the way that you want to, obviously with this application, like almost that the would put out, what I'm seeing is almost like setting a plan of action with this ace. That's what I feel like will be achieved in this meeting. It's almost like the ace is the potential card. So you maybe won't get all the answers that you want, or like a straightforward kind of green light that this is going to happen, but some kind of open conversation. I don't see it being, because it's a new beginning with the ace. Like I say, some kind of plan of action being discussed. So in that way, I would see that they would want to help you. But there may just be, it's this sense of that this is just the beginning. So there may be some additional boxes to tick, or obviously I don't know how it works, but some extra hoops to jump through. I believe that this is how you need to move forward with this situation, kind of in your intuitive way and with your gifts. The ability to read the situation, Janavi, is going to be and read maybe your manager, to use your people skills when having this conversation. So whatever that looks like, but maybe you have an understanding of how your manager works and character wise and what they respond to. It's being able to read the situation and use your intuitive skills with this person to essentially to get what you want, to get the outcome that you want. The high priestess is a major arcana, so I feel like this is kind of saying that you have a power in this situation as well. So come to that meeting with this energy, yeah? I'm glad that makes sense. And expect some kind, you're going to get a start on this, okay? There is the wheel is going to start to turn on this. Hey Jazzy, hey Kushi, thank you for being here. I will get to everyone as time allows. If you like guaranteed in-depth reading, paid readings do take priority. The link is in the bio. But if not, I'll just continue on. If you could drop the live stream a like in exchange for the one card. I think Great Gate has left the chat. So Susan, if you're still here, is my friend's new friend a good person? Hey Susan, thanks for confirming. Let's have a look at this person's energy. Spirit, please bring a message through for Susan regarding this new friend. What energy do they bring? Three materials. Isn't that funny? That's almost like the three of you, the three people. Now, three materials is about, this feels positive, okay? This feels good energy. Three materials is all about collaboration. It's about teamwork. I always see this card and it's somehow you all have that same goal in mind. So that if that's kind of to have the best interests at heart for each other, you may have even a mutual interest as well. With it being the three of materials, I don't know if the connection is through work or something like that, or or school. You know, that can often be when we see materials. It's can be connected to that, but almost here as well, I see that this could be lead potentially even to a friendship for you with them as well, just because of this. It's so significant that there's three here. But yeah, the energy feels good, Susan. So I don't know if you've had red flags, if you feel like your intuition is making you question that, or just a bit wary. But spirit comes through. There doesn't feel to be any negative or any ill intent here. This card is all about collaboration, working together, teamwork, wanting to work any kind of kinks out if they did occur, because we've all got the same kind of goal in mind here, which can be a numerous thing like a mutual interest, or just wanting things to work out, really, that they're not looking for trouble in any way, that I see. So nice energy to come through. Clear message actually there from spirit. So I hope that reassured you if you've got some wariness about them. Nettie, if you're still here, just give me a shout. What are Nicola's feelings towards me at this time? Thanks, Jazzy. Blessings to you, Susan, as well. So, Nettie, I'm not sure if you've left the chat now, so give me a shout if you are still here. If not, I'll keep it moving. So who is up next? Mark. This is for you, Mark. Just give me a shout out if you're still here. Just don't want to read for anyone who isn't here. Awesome. Thank you, Mark. I'd like to know how my community and the people around me see me. Sure thing. What impressions do they have of me, and how does my presence affect them? Okay, interesting question. Let's go for it. So how does your community see you? Spirit, please bring a message through for Mark regarding how he's seen by his community. Spirit, please bring a message through for Mark. Oh, I'm going to take this. I knew this is a king. I knew that would come up. I had a feeling this would come up. Sometimes I'm drawn to the bottom of the deck, but the main card that came through, Mark, was this Two of Emotions, okay, which is interesting. Two of Emotions is, I think that they feel, this is a positive card, okay, that they feel connected to you. I feel like the Two of Emotions would be someone who is of a kind of comfort kind of energy, okay? Two of Emotions is someone who that you would feel at ease with. That's what in the traditional deck, Emotions is the Cups, which is about emotional contentment, fulfillment. It's ruled by the element of water. We see a lot of water here as well. I don't know if you've had a specific, I just tell you what resonates with this, Mark, okay? But if you've had a specific connection with someone within the community, because it's a two. So it's almost like that there's a strong bond with one person in particular. This could be currently happening, already happened, or it can be coming through in the near future. But if you're picking up on that, it can be romantic by nature, but it could just be a stronger bond. So again, whatever applies to your situation, if that whatever resonates. But Two of Emotions can be about a soulmate connection a lot of the time. So I've just got to sort of mention that and put that out there. But whoever this person is, this is a particularly strong connection with them. They mirror back the positive vibes and feelings that you're picking up from with them. That is mirrored back to you. Just of note here, maybe kind of broadening it out to the community on a bigger level, because this seems maybe specifically one person has come through. But the Muse of Voices is this kind of, in the traditional deck, it's the King of Swords. So this is someone they also see you as someone who is good at communicating. That's what the Muse of Voices is all about. Someone who can be quite analytical in their thinking. So logical, and can bring that to the table, really. Like I say, a clear communicator, can be quite direct in how they speak as well. Sometimes can veer towards being a little bit too direct, just because the Muse of Voices is someone who's very committed to the truth. So they are kind of a truth talker. So to those people that aren't, then that can be a bit of a challenge, okay? So that's come through, a couple of messages there, that Muse of Voices, but also this kind of stronger connection, which I see, which is something that could maybe develop even further as time allows. So Renee, hi, I don't know if you're still here, Renee. No problem, Mark, you're very welcome. If you want to subscribe, for those that haven't yet, just so you can catch me again, I do go live regularly. Just hit the subscribe button and like the live stream. But I think I'll move on. I don't think I think Rennie's left the chat. So Kushi, are you still here? Maybe not. Jazzy Dreamer. They may come back, so I'll just keep it moving. Janavi. Oh, Jazzy Dreamer, you're here. So did you pop your question, Jazzy? I'm not sure if I saw that. If you have got a specific question, pop it in the chat, or if you'd like a general, just let me know. And then Janavi, I'll move on to you after Jazzy. What's coming in for love? So if you want to just give me a bit of context, Jazzy, are you single, in a connection? Just the more, whatever you feel comfortable with, but the more detail that I can have, the more context, the more personalized reading in essence that you can have. Single as a Pringle. Awesome. Right. That's making me laugh. Okay. Spirit, please bring a message through for Jazzy. What's next in love? Ooh, interesting. Page of inspiration. Okay, so inspiration is ruled by the element of fire. So this does talk about heart's desires, passions, attraction, physical attraction. Okay, so in a love reading, this is positive. Okay, so we have a page here, which is really someone, can we see this, who there's quite an explosive energy around them. This could be energetically someone already in your energetic field, okay, or it could be just someone entirely new coming through to you. Now the page of inspiration who comes through and is really quite direct, okay, which can be like refreshing actually, that they don't kind of shy away from their emotions. This is someone coming in a romantic way, Jazzy, next for you, just so you know. Can maybe a fire sign or have that prominent in their astrological chart, okay? But they kind of really wear their heart on their sleeve and say how they feel, which, like I say, can be refreshing. So if they're attracted to you, they'll let you know, yeah? They don't shy away from that. There is someone who is very enthusiastic as well, okay? So it'll be notable about them with their enthusiasm, kind of how they go through life as well, is kind of that positive and upbeat energy. But with it being a page, the only thing of note is that they may be actually an age younger than you, or that they could be just, there's a sort of an immaturity about them. It's not a negative thing. It's not in any way malice that they come through with that, but it's just that almost naivety, and kind of promise the world sometimes, and then maybe not to be able to back it up. Sometimes it can be about you having to hold them back a little bit and pace things to and kind of ground this energy. But like I say, ultimately positive when it does come through, because of that kind of refreshing change of someone being wearing their heart on their sleeve and be really quite upfront about what they want and how they feel. So I hope that offers you, hope that resonated for you, connected for you, Jazzy. I don't do exact timelines, so when I say near future, I suppose I generally tend to think of 3 to 6 months. No problem, Nettie, no problem. I'm just going to read for Janavi and then I'll move on to your question, Nettie. I didn't answer it actually because I wasn't sure if you were going to be here. So if you're happy, I'll circle back to it, okay? Janavi, so this is for you. I'm trying to distance myself from Akshay emotionally. I keep seeing his name randomly. Oh, how strange. Name of the city he lives in. I'm not thinking of him actively like before. So is he thinking of me? That's good that the kind of thinking of him has died down, Janavi, for you. Let's have a look at his energy regarding you. Maybe he's trying to get back into your head with these signs. Yeah, sure thing. Five of Voices. This is a kind of quite a frustrated energy. When we see Five of Voices, it can be like, obviously you're not in contact, so there's not arguments, but sometimes it can be talk about arguments, this card. But so when it's not, because you're not in communication, because it's not external, yeah, then we see this as it's internal conflict on his side. Stressing about it. We see all these images here of kind of the Five Voices is about anxieties, worries being stuck in your head, yeah. Feeling kind of twisted up inside about it. And again, conflicted, as in whenever I see five, it's always, yeah, like feeling maybe some anger there, even some annoyance, frustrations though with himself as well, that I see sort of maybe sort of that flip-flopping energy, feeling frustrated with you, feeling frustrated with himself. There is this mistletoe here though, and two people symbolized here, so it's like this is still hanging over the connection for him. He hasn't freed himself from this connection. That's probably the wrong kind of wording, but you know what I mean. He hasn't cut off this connection. It's still there internally and still on his mind. Voices is about our thinking. So maybe in ways that you've been able to find a bit more peace mentally, he seems to be in a different kind of energy, the opposite of that, and very actually in his head, worrying, anxiety, overthinking, and feeling, and yeah, that kind of flip-flopping, feeling angry with himself to feeling angry with you. With the five, it will blow over. The energy, like with anything, it will change. But with regards to you at the moment, current energy check-in, he's overthinking about it. He's in his head about it and feeling mixed up, which I know we've got quite a lot for his energy. Being quite tied up. You're welcome, Janavi. So, Nettie, I will move on to your question now. I'm just going to go back to it. Nettie, where are you? What are Nicholas's feelings towards me at this time? Right, let's go. This is nice energy. I like this energy, Nettie. So Knight of Voices is someone who has something to say to you, okay? So obviously I don't know where the connection is at, but kind of if we're looking behind the scenes, this is always a card that I think is full of a lot of happiness and bright energy because there's so much yellow and sun. It's like the sun bursting out from the clouds. This is the strange kind of reversal actually here, where it's like the clouds are bursting out of the sun, but you know what I mean. And then this is their energy. Okay, so this is Nicholas sort of coming charging in, and Voices is about communication. It's about having something to say. Okay, so if that's how they feel about you, or they want to get it off their chest and have some clarity and speak their truth in some ways to you, okay, Nettie? Again, with it being kind of a night, they tend to almost act without thinking. They tend to have a tendency to rush in. So when it does come through this communication, it might not be the most finessed or put in the most gentle way, but it doesn't mean that it isn't genuine and that it's heartfelt, whatever that they come through with. Okay, it is genuine and they do mean what they say, and I just feel this very keen and eager energy to come through and speak with you in some way and communicate. So I don't know if you've been waiting on that, but they do want to speak their truth to you. So guys, I'll end at 8. I'll just check if anyone has any questions though. Before I go, we still have a bit of time left. It's fine if you have asked one question and you'd like a second one, you can go for it. Or if that's everyone, just wait a few minutes. I'll hang on to see if anyone else comes through. Hey Fiona, great timing because you'll be first on the list. Just got through everyone. So you can have a general guidance, please. What do I need to know? Absolutely, Fiona. Spirit, please bring a message through for Fiona, please. What do they need to know right now, please, Spirit? Ten of Emotions. This is really nice energy, Fiona. This card is all about emotional fulfillment, okay? It's got such beautiful energy in it here with all these colors, pinks, oranges, yellows here, which has a real kind of warmth to it. And the Ten of Emotions tells me that it's a very encouraging card, actually, that it tells me that you are on the path to emotional fulfillment. So this is really about matters of the heart, okay? It's not um so much about the material world, okay, like the physical world. It's very much about our really our inner world and our heart's desires, feelings and matters of the heart that are close to us, okay, and that journey. So people that close relationships, people that bring us emotional fulfillment, situations as well, like things that you just love to do, hobbies wise, or maybe it's even, it can be related to work if it's something that you love to do that is fulfills you. But whenever we see the 10, I don't know if you're having any kind of self-doubt or questioning if you're on the right track, but this comes through from spirit to say that yes, you are on the right track. So whatever, if any struggles or difficulties even that arise, you are doing everything that you can possibly do, and you are going in the right direction, and you are on the right road and path to reaching this 10, which is the kind of culmination, and that milestone of going in the direction of something emotionally fulfilling both your heart and your spirit. So, an encouraging card, like I say, if you've had any doubts, it's about reassuring you on that level as well, and saying just keep showing up and keep doing what you're already doing, because it's the right thing at this time. Okay. Hey, baby angel. Absolutely. Can I have one card about my love life? Your crush, please. Absolutely. I'm glad that resonated for you, Fiona. Guys, if you could drop a like for the live stream just in exchange for the one card, and subscribe if you enjoy the live, just so that you'll be notified. So hopefully I can catch you again. If you enjoy this live, I do go live regularly. So like I say, if you want to drop subscribe so that you can catch me again. Thanks, Fiona. So, baby angel, let's go for this, okay? So let's have a look at your crush. Shall we have a look about how your crush feels about you? I think that might be the most helpful. Oh gosh, they feel a lot, maybe. All the cards just flew out. Just one card, please, Spirit. It's an ace, baby angel. So this is new beginnings. This has potential, definitely, when we see an ace, okay? The potential to turn in something that has longevity, that has a future, okay? The Ace of Voices also focuses on communication. And I'm drawn to this white owl, which represents being wise. So this is, I think, about being clear maybe about what you want and being truthful as well, um in order to kind of get what you want out of this situation, and for it to hopefully lead on to something bigger and better, which it does have the potential um to go there. Okay, with voices as well, it's quite like sometimes it's quite a boundaried energy. It's about, like I say again, talking about asking for what you want and being clear about what you want. I don't know if this is something that maybe you've struggled with in the past. And so entering into this kind of new connection, it's important to take that with you, that approach, so as not to kind of run into any misunderstandings. Yeah. For some reason, that feels very important this time around with this connection. So be wise in what you say. Maybe not to be really an open book, but to be quite wise with how much information that you give away about yourself, and kind of taking this at a steady pace and not rushing in, being kind of clever about it, being savvy about this. That's very much the voice's kind of energy. It's using your head. So certainly at least at the beginning here, with this being new. So I feel like that's the advice. But with it being an ace, that's very kind of encouraging, because like I say, it's just the beginning and it holds a lot of potential here. But also comes with it that message of really kind of how to approach it. So I hope that resonates with you and offers you some guidance in how to move forward with this. So I'll just hang on a minute, but I think I will end the live there. I think that's everyone. You're very welcome, baby angel. So guys, I will be back on live on Thursday, so just watch out for that notification. If you've subscribed, then you'll see that, but look out for that. Just I'll confirm the time. But thank you all so much for being here, and wishing you all the best, and hopefully I'll catch you all soon. But love and light.